Well, the rain's starting to fall here. Right before the start of the first 250 Moto at Steel City, the last national of the year. Behind me, Greg Albertyn awaits his date with destiny. Guys, he's about 4 years behind schedule, but he's on track. 21 points away from his first AMA National Championship. You know he's got a lot of pressure, but hey, you don't win 3 World Championships being nervous.
Albertyn needs only 5 more points than Wyndham to take the title. Doug Henry's last race before he retires. We take a look at the starting grid. Albertyn and Larocco looks like he might finish in 3rd for the 2nd consecutive year. The rest of the starting grid for the 250s. Dowd, Coquetta, Caton, Ferry, Lapson, Raynard, Voss, Wallace. Damon Huffman trying to be impressive so that he can regain some kind of contract. Albertyn really concentrating more on his performance and focusing on this race than figuring out what it will take to win his first AMA title. But he certainly fought through a lot of frustrations, David Bailey.
He's had collarbone after setback, all kinds of things. And plus me talking about how he couldn't stay off the ground in the early going. So he's gotten all that sorted out and really turned into an impressive rider out there that a lot of people fear every moto they line up next to him.
Kevin Wyndham hoping for a chain to break or that voodoo curse to work. And we go down the line to Mike Larocco looking for a good final performance of the year. Ezra Lusk.
You know, he's just had a crappy week after crappy week. I wouldn't be surprised to see him close out the season with a perfect score, win both motos. He's got to be tired of the way things have been going. He certainly has the talent to win.
No points at Washougal, 9th and then a 10th place finish before coming into this final round. So the 250s are getting set for their first moto of the day in the last round of the year. The board going sideways now, so that gate will drop at any moment. Let's check out Albertyn on the left, Wyndham right next to a little elbow in there on the inside. A good position as John Dowd gets the credit for the hole shot, number 6. Dowdy out in front. Larry Ward moves into 2nd place. Caton on the Suzuki in 3rd. That's a big surprise, getting by Ezra Lusk in the corner.
And Albertyn right there by Lusk. He's got his teammate Larry Ward to help him out here in case it should come to that. But right now, I don't think he needs any help. He's ahead of Wyndham.
John Dowd, his last race with Team Yamaha before becoming a teammate of Larry Ward's right behind him. Ward, his last race on Team Suzuki. They're both going to Kawasaki to join RC. Ricky Carmichael in the 250 ranks next year.
A little surprised Lusk come out in better shape. He went into the first corner. It looked like he kind of had the hole shot. Dowd had the inside on him, but it seemed like he could have held down 2nd.
Whoa! Dowdy not preferring to push Ward off the track. He could have very easily there. And Larry Ward moves into the lead.
That was beautiful. You usually see all the passes through that corner being made on the inside. Ward just laid it over, used the outside bank, doubled through there, and picked up the lead. That's got to feel good right now. Anytime you can lead the first lap of a national, the crowd's going wild, you get to pull a tear off, have clear vision, you're the guy in control.
Track conditions are great. It's getting overcast, the wind picking up a bit. Maybe the rain's on the way. Larry Ward is our leader with John Dowd right there in 2nd place. Caton, number 63, is having problems holding on to 3rd.
He's got the best riders in the world breathing down his neck. That's not going to be easy, but it's exciting as a privateer to get out front, see the leaders, kind of get used to that pace, all the noise the crowd makes up there, because when you're back in 20th, the crowd isn't making any noise at all.
Lee McCullum, Larry Ward's mechanic, big deep breath right there. He's going to be Pastrana's mechanic next year.
That'll be exciting.
Yeah.
The riders actually look forward to something new once in a while. You know, you don't want to feel like you burn any bridges, but it is nice to put on new colors, new clothing, new helmet, new motorcycle to get used to. And for the mechanics as well. I mean, for him to get an opportunity to work with the new kid who I have a feeling from what I've seen and heard, Pastrana's he has the opportunity to be a Jeremy McGrath. Kid's got talent. He hasn't even had a chance to race yet. People are already assuming he's going to win a lot.
Wyndham back in 6th. As Greg Albertyn, there you see Wyndham number 14. And Greg Albertyn, he wants to stay ahead of Wyndham. The battle for 3rd is on. Caton slips back as Albertyn slips through.
got to be a good feeling for Albertyn right now, knowing he got a decent start. Kind of overshoots those berms right there. It looks like he might have done that on purpose to give himself a better line into the next corner. But he just put another rider between himself and Kevin, so things are looking good so far.
Larry Ward still our leader. We'll be right back with more 250 action from Delmont.
So you want to be a champion? Championship Motocross featuring Ricky Carmichael. Go head-to-head with a top superstar in motocross today. It's the ultimate motocross simulation. Championship Motocross featuring Ricky Carmichael. So real you'll be pulling your teeth out of the dirt. Only on PlayStation Game.
Art Ekman, David Bailey, Davey Coombs coming to you from Delmont, Pennsylvania. The final event of the year. Larry Ward is our leader. His teammate, Greg Albertyn, trying to nail down the 250 championship, is in third behind John Dowd. Ward's best 99 motocross was a 5th overall, a 6.5 at Troy. But the battle for 4th is on. Mike Caton and Kevin Windham. Windham second in points, trying to catch up to Albertyn.
He just came down that hill hot on the inside. Couldn't quite get under Caton. That would have been nice for Kevin if he could have made the pass. He almost pulled off a double pass. He got Henry. He needs to get by Caton as fast as he can and try to get up there and start to bother Albertyn a little bit and change his whole attitude, because so far Albertyn's got clear sailing.
2 4-strokes. There's Jimmy Button making the pass on Doug Henry right behind Windham.
It's such a fast pace right now. Everyone is pushing it to the end. Jeff Stanton right there cheering on Kevin Windham, saying, get by this guy. Why did Caton have to pick this moto to ride her so well? I think that's probably going through Kevin's head.
Caton looks to the side. Kevin Windham has the opportunity right now and makes the pass. So Kevin not letting Greg Albertyn get away from him, but he's got to get closer as we take a look at on the scoreboard. Ward, Dowd still 1 and 2. Here comes Jimmy Button. Boy, that 4-stroke, you can hear it coming, but Caton's not budging. He's staying right in front of him, racing with everybody right now as we go back to the battle for second place. Greg Albertyn now getting within striking distance of John Dowd. Albie, the last year of his contract, is not mentioning anything about renegotiating with Suzuki until after this championship is secured. Let's go to Davey Coombs.
Joe, big day for you guys. How's it going so far? It looks pretty good right now. Kevin's behind us, so that's a good thing. What about Larry Ward up front? Does that surprise you? Yeah, Larry's riding really good, so I'd rather have it be one of our bikes than somebody else.
Ronnie, what was Greg like this morning? Was he nervous at all? I know the answer to that. He's never nervous.
He was actually better this week than last week, so I think he's all right.
Albertyn hounding John Dowd. He's approaching this final round with that same sense of confidence and positiveness that he did at the beginning of the year when he said, hey, I'm going to win this thing this year. Albertyn, bar to bar with John Dowd coming down the hill. Who breaks last? Albertyn takes the corner. And Albie will move into second place.
That's that's impressive for Albie to just come down there and lean into the corner, just trusting that Dowd wasn't going to park him. They came in there hot together. Looks like Albie already had the pass. John made a good effort to try to get back in there and make him earn it. And you're right, our Albie has just remained so confident. You just you can't tell by the look on his face what's going on inside his head. It just looks like he's always got it under control, a little confident smile.
Here's Kevin Windham, though, right on the tail of John Dowd. Windham.
Wow, jumps all the way out to the flat. He's not worried about trying to time the backside of that plateau, just whatever's fastest. Comes a little bit short on that one.
Dowdy hanging in there pretty well.
I don't think Kevin cares about how pretty he's riding right now. It's just a matter of staying with Albertyn's pace, trying to move around Dowd, and then get into the lead if he can, and try to make this title go down to the final moto, not have it decided here.
He's had an outstanding year. He's the winningest rider with 4 victories and has more hole shots than anyone else this year. He has 6 moto wins, and right now he's working hard to move into 3rd place.
Well, you get the idea right there that Brian Berry's trying to get Dowd to run the pace of these guys, but you got to understand the motivation of Albertyn and even more motivation, I would think, from Kevin right now. Their pace is probably just a little bit above what it usually is, and Dowd's doing about all he can, but if there's anywhere he's slow a little bit, it's in the corners, and Barry's trying to let him know.
Dowd, his best performance is second at Southwick, but he's had all kinds of injury problems, and that all started during the Supercross season when he had that shoulder injury coming out of Daytona. Put him way behind on the motocross season, and then also it just hasn't healed that quickly. He's been bothered with it throughout almost the entire motocross season. Jimmy Button now with the 4-stroke and that power and the grip, dealing with the 2-stroke of John Dowd.
Yeah, going back to the 125 moto, we just watched Pingree having to come back from injuries and building that confidence. Dowd's in the same position.
Button got his very first moto win and very first overall win at Washougal, and after that he's had second-place finishes in the last 2 races. Let's go down to Davey Coombs, who's with his mechanic.
Brian, Jimmy didn't get the usual good start. You guys began late in the year, but he's moving up well.
Well, he got a little bit of wheel spin off the start. There's a little bit of a pileup in the first turn. We started around 10th. He's coming up through the pack. He's in 4th right now. We'll just have to see how it pans out.
Our leader still Larry Ward with Greg Albertyn, the teammates, 1-2 out in front. Here's Doug Henry and Ezra Lusk. Lusk with all kinds of bad luck and problems here in the late going of the season, and Doug Henry goes down. What a break for Ezra this time. He just slipped out.
Another one of those berms I talked about. You just have to find exactly the right line. Stay right in it perfect, trying to get that clutch back straight. Some guys run it a little bit loose so they can bend it back easier, but I don't know. I kind of like to run mine tight and not fall.
Ward, Albertyn, Wyndham, our top 3. We'll be right back with more 250 action in a moment. We're back at Steel City Raceway. Moto number 1 of the 250s, Ezra Lusk, number 4. Several people thought he might win the championship this year. He was number 1 in the points at Southwick after a win and 2 podium appearances. A lot of bad luck has struck Ezra Lusk since then. Tim Ferry, number 20, on the Mazda Chaparral Yamaha, is behind Lusk.
He's not just behind him, he's actually bothering him a little bit. Might have just ignited Ezra to get around John Dowd.
Dowdy trying to get back at him, does so. Back and forth we go. John Dowd and Ezra Lusk with Tim Ferry on their tails.
I still like it. I think Lusk needed to come down there and make that pass and just keep his fingers crossed that he can make it stick. And even if he can't, he's definitely got Dowd thinking the next time down that hill.
Ezra signing a new deal with Team Honda earlier in the season. Steve Mathis, Tim Ferry's mechanic, looking on. Ferry coming out of the privateer ranks, signed by the independent team, the Chaparral team. Larry Ward, our leader, with Albertyn still in second place. The 2 Team Suzuki riders out in front as the battle goes on between Lusk, Dowd, and Ferry's looking to take advantage.
I've always liked Ferry's riding style. Ever since his first win, I think at around 95 at the Open in Orlando on the 125, I've just noticed that his riding style, it just sticks out. It reminds me of the way I like to ride. And when I watch him, whatever I'm thinking he ought to be doing, it's what he does. He's a pleasure to watch. Gets by Lusk.
Yeah, Ferry getting by Lusk now. So it's Dowd, Ferry, and Lusk with Robbie Raynard. Very quick on this track. This is his favorite track anywhere. And look for Robbie Raynard to make a move on Ezra. Race the track, Tim Ferry.
That's the best advice you can give.
And Mike Gosler putting the lap times, 2:37. These are longer laps than most tracks on this series. Steve Lampson with troubles. He's had a tough year all year long. Looking maybe toward Arena Cross or maybe the Japanese National Circuit for next year.
Well, that looks like it's a problem with Steve, not the motorcycle.
It sure does, David. He's trying to shake it off right now. Recover to maybe get back onto the track. Medical personnel right there on hand. Here's our leader. And Albertyn in second place. Larry Ward and Greg Albertyn. And do you suppose Larry Ward will be appreciative of the fact that Team Suzuki gave him a second chance at a factory ride, which is very unusual?
I think we're about to find out. I think I know where you're going with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure he is, and he understands what's going on right now.
He's had as much as a 8-second lead He looks back at Albertyn as if to say, take it over, partner.
Well, that's smart, because the 5 points that Albie needed over Wyndham, Ward just gave him. 3 points from first to second, 2 more from second to third, rather. So that'll be the 5 points and the title if things stay the way they are. Watch Ward looks over, takes the outside line, go for it. Doesn't necessarily do it in some sneaky section in the back to make it look cool. No, he's going to do it right in front of everybody.
Relax and breathe. The instructions for Greg Albertyn on his way to his very first AMA title. Let's go down to Davey.
Joe, a little bit of quick math. Right now, the way it stands, you guys win the national championship. Albie first, Ward second, Wyndham third.
Yeah, we got 3 more laps left. Kevin ain't going to quit, so I can't say nothing until checkered flag drops.
How do you feel right now?
I feel better than I did earlier today, that's for sure. Greg's comfortable, so I feel good.
Actually, David, Larry Ward has an important assignment right now. He's got to stay up there in second place.
Yeah, I'm sure Albertyn really appreciates the help that he's gotten from Larry so far this season, and he does just what happened that past lap. But if Wyndham's able to get around him, I think he's going to go over there and have a word with him. That'll mess things up. But he's got a pretty good cushion right now that with the lap rider coming over the jump next. So they got quite a bit of room.
This is the 7th straight year that Delmont has been the last race of the season, but it's the first time in at least 3 years that the title has been decided here. If that indeed is the case, let's go down to Davey Combs.
Hi, Roger. You're about 3 laps away. How do you feel?
Feel pretty good, as good as you can feel in this situation. You know, it's a motorsport, so you never know until it's finished. But things could not look better now.
Did you have words with Robbie Raynard and Larry Ward before the moto to just think about Greg if he was out there?
Yeah, I asked him, you know, not to be in the way, and you know, I don't expect anybody to ride dirty, and just both from outside and from the other side. And up to now, things are going good. So I hope it's another 7 minutes like this.
That's a tough time to have to interview Roger DeCoster, David.
Now, he doesn't want to take his eyes off anything, and he's got things coming in his headset as well, but he's been in this position before, and, you know, you still get nervous no matter what. I mean, it's always nerve-wracking when there's a title on the line. He's been trying so hard for a number of years at Suzuki to get his title back. He's finally done it.
That win at Millville, giving Greg a 35-point lead with 2 races to go, was a big one. Our Suzuki trivia question: when was the last time that Suzuki won a 250 national championship? The answer when we return.
So you want to be a champion? Championship Motocross featuring Ricky Carmichael. Go head-to-head with a top superstar in motocross today. It's the ultimate motocross simulation. Championship Motocross featuring Ricky Carmichael. So real you'll be pulling your teeth out of the dirt. Only on PlayStation Game Console.
AMA Motocross is brought to you by Mazda. Mazda, get in, be moved. Not even Jean-Michel Bayle, the only other former GP champion to win an AMA 250 title, did what Greg is about ready to do. And Greg Albertyn could win the title and also win a race in the same season. Jean-Michel Bayle won the title in '91 but did not win a race. Greg Albertyn has won 2 so far this year. On the final lap, our Suzuki trivia question: when was the last time Suzuki won a 250 national championship? It was 1981 and Kent Howerton. So indeed, quite an honor for this young man who's tried so hard in his 5-some seasons in the United States to regain a championship place.
I cried. Well,
Greg's wife, do you think she's kind of just a little bit excited?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure she's excited, nervous. Probably thinking of all that shopping I can do.
Oh, now, come on.
That's what my wife would be thinking. No, it's nerve-wracking for him. You don't have any control over what's going on. Sometimes it's better off being the rider. At least you have some control.
Believe it or not, David, this is the 5th time in the 90s a rider who took 2nd place one year will have won the title the very next year.
Did you tell Kevin Wyndham that yet?
Not yet.
Okay, that'll make him feel better.
But he's got a good shot at it, the way he's ridden this year. Jimmy Button now starting to put some pressure on Wyndham.
He has been bothering him this whole time. Kevin Carmichael and his dad behind him, they're all watching. Carmichael's good friends with Larry Ward. I think that'll be a good mixture over there at Kawasaki next year. Ricky already knows what it feels like to be in Greg's shoes.
After so many years of not having a title, what do you think it means to the Suzuki personnel, not only in America, but also Japan?
Everything. That's what they do. That's why they spend money. That's why they hire these guys. It all comes down to winning championships and selling motorcycles. Jeff Stanton giving him a thumbs up.
And right now you got a big pat on the back for Roger DeCosta for turning this program around and getting more support for next year and ensuing years from the factory in Japan. The checkers for Albie. Ward's holding off Wyndham, barely.
That's it, here you are. Yeah! You're the man.
You're the man. Well, right now, Greg Albertyn's the man, I think, as he has taken this first moto and the championship of the 250s in AMA national action. Ward in second, Wyndham in third. Let's go down to Davey.
Well, Greg, finally it's happened. Before I even ask you any questions, I want to give the microphone to the AMA's Duke Finch.
Greg, hard fought, well-deserved. Took you a little longer than you planned on, but on behalf of the AMA, congratulations.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Duke, don't leave for a minute. Stay right there, guys. You need a shot with him.
All right, Greg, let me ask you a question. Did you know that the moto would turn out that way? Did you have any idea that Larry Ward would get out there and help you? You needed a win, but you needed Wyndham to get third, and it happened.
Well, Larry's been the best teammate I could really ask for. You know, every time I've needed a push, and he's helped me out, and you know, I really got to give him all the thanks. But first and foremost, I got to give Jesus Christ all the glory, all the honor, and all the praise. You know, and thank you for this, Lord.
All of the Suzuki brass are here. Your old mechanic Ian's here. Your new wife Amy. This has to be a great feeling.
It's an awesome feeling, you know. I've waited so long for this, and just to all the fans who have stuck by me, you know, through the hard times, and when they didn't think I was going to do it, they still supported me, and I really appreciate that.
Congratulations, champ.
The pressures of high expectations mixed with frustrating failures over several years now lifted. As we go back down to Davey, and the man of the hour now is Larry Ward.
Well, Larry, beside us, Greg Albertyn's getting all the accolades of a national champion. I got to say, it looked to me like you took one for the team.
Well, you know, I was having fun out there. I don't know why everything was clicking so good for me out there. First motos I've been struggling, but I got a decent start, and I felt like I was riding a comfortable pace and pulling away. I felt really good, but you know, there's always second moto, and that was a lot of fun. And Greg and Roger, the whole team has been so good to me the last 2 years. You know, it's no big deal.
After a horrible season's opener, Kevin Wyndham fought back all season long to become a contender. Let's go right back down to Davey.
Well, Kevin, gave it all you had in that moto, but it looks like the Suzuki's just got away in the beginning.
Yeah, I definitely wasn't riding quite like I did in practice. You know, I was kind of a little nervous, and I don't know. I mean, Greg and those guys were riding great, and I just tried to get in after. I rode good, but those guys were riding really good up there, and you know, Greg had his visions focused in on what he had to do, and he did a good job. My hats go off to Albertyn.